What's up, y'all? It's Carla, aka Sila the Poet, and I am doing another clip because I can't sleep. So, this is Afro-Latina Identity Part 2. So, I want to speak on Afro-Latina identity. I am a Afro-Latina. I have Jamaican and Puerto Rican heritage, as well as African American heritage and other Native American heritage in my family. And, you know, it's it's an interesting experience being Afro Latina, especially because I don't look the part. When I was growing up, I grew up in an African American community mainly. I would visit my Puerto Rican grandparents and my dad like on weekends, once my parents had gotten a divorce. And my formative years, I was living in Hollis, Queens, which was like an African American neighborhood. And, because of the way I look, obviously, people knew, they accepted me like I was just a regular African American, right? Until they would hear my last name, and then they would start asking me questions like, okay, well, where are you from? And then I would tell them, well, my dad is Puerto Rican, my mom is Jamaican American, and a lot of times they'd be like, nah, you lying. And I'm like, no, it's the truth, you know and then they would be like, speak Spanish, and then I would say something, and then they would be like, oh. But anyway, yeah, so it's an interesting experience when you don't look the part. Um, you know, some people are racially ambiguous, and then there are people like me who are people know obviously that I'm black, right? I'm definitely, I have African roots or whatever, but it's like they don't really know where to pinpoint where I come from, because they look at my skin tone, they look at my hair, right? That's curly and stuff like that. I have it braided right now, but a lot of times I wear my hair natural, and they can't tell where I'm from, right? And so sometimes when people often mistake where you come from, right? They don't know you are what you are. Then some people feel real comfortable to say racist shit, racist phrases, and racially, disrespectful things around you. And, there has been times when, yeah, people have said things, about my heritage and people from my heritage and stuff like that. And it wasn't cool. And a lot of times I would have to either check them, or I would just, depending on if I wanted to go there, I would either check their ass, right? I would either check them, or I would walk away and just like ignore them, Um, but yeah, I feel like you get the best of both worlds. You get the African American experience, you get the African, the Caribbean experience on, my mom's side, and then you get the Puerto Rican experience on my dad's side. And just like the blending and the mixing of the two cultures, it's cool because you learn the history of both. Um, and it's just interesting how you have your different traditions and your different ways of interacting and ways of being, different languages, different slangs and stuff like that, different foods. And a lot of people tell me once they find out what I am, they're like, oh, that's a bomb ass mix, oh, that's a crazy mix, you're Jamaican and Puerto Rican, wow, that's a crazy mix. They always have something to say about it. But anyway, I just you know it's just like I said, it's just an interesting experience. And a lot of times, like I said, people mistake where I come from. They can't tell what I am by looking at me. A lot of times they can't tell. And then when I start speaking Spanish, it's like sometimes the faces that some Latino people make is like their eyes widen, their jaw drops, and it's just it's crazy. Like it's almost 2026, and like you still gotta deal with people. But anyway, so how all my Afro-Latino people doing out there? People that are like myself, that are darker on the darker side. What is your experiences? If you want to comment, if you want to share some of your experiences, please do. All right? That's all I got to say for now. Peace.